Darryl Kravitz honor. Actually, when I was asked to have a documentary done, just blew me away. But creativity has always been part of my life. Pretty much I'm an artist, musician, and writer. Successful. I was published when I was 12. Offered a membership in the Jersey Society of Poets when I was 16. Okay, now so I submitted something, and I'm thinking it's like another scam because you have to be a member or otherwise. But this is like before computers. This is before whatever. I mean, you know, in reflection, you know, it's like this was like a monogrammed seal, serious gig. And I saw it as a scam. Art is a really interesting subject. But again, it all comes down to knowing the rules. To be innovative, you have to know what is innovative. For example, object of inspiration, or just stupid plastic. I mean, you can take this, for example, all right? And no, I don't carry a knife around. I usually leave it especially when I'm being interviewed. That's not true either. All right, so you put the knife there, okay? And I go like this, and actually not cut myself, okay? That gives a dimension as far as a photographic image. So what does that mean? That the knife is pointing to the tongue. The tongue is a razor. The vision is perspective, and then you can play around with it, okay? But could you have done that 40 years ago? No. I really believe that creativity is sensitivity and application, and everyone is sensitive. All right, so say that you know, you have mechanic skills of doing machinery, or you're you know, going for an engineering degree, or you're going for an artistic degree as far as art, and you can imitate. See, here's another thing. I've met people as far as that imitate innovation, and that's fine for a time, because you have to understand as far as the dynamic of people. You have to find your creative edge. You have to, you know, practice. Obviously, if I didn't paint when I was 17, I wouldn't understand the dynamics, and obviously, if I didn't spend my allowance, you know, as far as getting this art book, which is actually really interesting because the cover actually became a Kansas cover later on, years later, and that was kind of like, so wait a second, I saw that picture before. But it was really innovative stuff, and innovation is something that's always around too. But you only have the emotional palette of creativity. You have only the emotional palette of emotions and your experiences, and that determines as far as your life, as far as fusing and knowing your reds from your blues, knowing your happy from your sorrows. And as far as writing-wise, the more paint you have in your palette, the more vocabulary that you have, the more, they're basically paints. So instead of blue, it would be aqua, or turquoise, or cyan. But if you say the sky was blue, okay. The sky was an aqua pastel that had fluffy clouds that faded slowly into the darkness. I was raised Catholic, and it was sort of, at the time, it was Latin. I never understood that. It's like going to church, you know, and it was sort of like Mr. Bean did it, you know, the same thing, as far as like the Hosanna, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, I was an altar boy and whatever, and it was all in Latin, all right? So you're basically sitting there, it's like, you know, you're hearing, you know, whatever, you're not understanding it, and then there's like a cadence to it. But eventually then it progressed. So what happened was, I made the mistake. You know, I said, okay, well, I'm going to pray to God, and I'm going to ask Him to be the most creative person that ever lived. All right? And so I made this soft prayer. You see, humility is strength. I don't know if I should have done that, because sometimes I can't shut it off. So I'm actually dealing with the deluge of what I prayed for way back when. But I had to go through my hoops. You know, I mean, there's certain lessons. I mean, how can you say, as far as that, you know, your life as far as, oh, I want to be a writer, but I'm getting all of these hammers. Well, maybe those hammers are something that you need to write on, you know, 10 years later. You know, you don't know. But persistence, it's focus. It's never arrogance, and never, and it's actually temperance and humility are the keys to the kingdom of creativity. One of the things I wrote a long time ago, and I really believe that, is creativity and professionalism and innovation is finding a new path on an old road. Because you need to know your formulas. You need to know your Picassos from your Rembrandts. You need to know what's been done in the market and the passion that you have. If it's sports, if it's anything, it's all transitory. Writing, okay, but also, like I said before, I'm not well read. I draw from the same pool. And actually, if you want to do something really fun, and this is like a game I play against myself. What I do is, okay, so I love this artist's work. Like, say for example, Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman's amazing as far as all the soundtracks and stuff. You know, and I remember when he was writing songs with Oingo Boingo, you know, as far as weird science and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, well, where did he come from? What was he listening to that inspired him? And so then if you go back to that pool, you're going to come back with your style once you've mastered your instrument with something innovative and just as good, because you're learning from the same pool, but you're also learning from him as far as how he's evolved it, because art's always evolution. I mean, taking a wall and cutting it out and actually having gears that are spinning with different canvases, and each time that they click back and forth, they form a different painting. That's innovative. Has anyone ever done that before? Well, if not, I'm going to try to do it. But I just gave it to you, so there you go. You know, as far as art has always been restricted to a canvas. A lot of the pieces that I've done, like this piece over here, it's three-dimensional. But three-dimensional art has been done. Decoupage has been done. What have you, but your style, your statement, your identity, your vision, your theme is what makes you you. And if you studied what's been done before, the you that you strive to be is going to be stronger. So anyway, that's my philosophy on art, writing, music. I feel that there are shades of gray in between. When you multitask, obviously you have to have multi-disciplines and actually multi-reference. Don't be afraid of reference. Don't be afraid of looking outside of the box to bring back into the box. Actually, if you said to me, hey Darryl, can you write a story as far as a chess piece and a broken bottle and a baseball? Could you do it? Yeah. How many characters do you want? What genre do you want? You want horror? You want comedy? You want this? You want that? I can do it. because I tested myself before the masters tested me. And so, and actually, you know, there is such joy in that. There is such joy, because you're not pulling the universe down. It's like, you know, it's like somebody coming to your door and saying, okay, here's $2,000, paint me something. Well, what do you want? Just paint me something. Well, what colors do you want? I don't care. It's like, so you know, you're sitting there, it's like, okay, well, what colors do I want to use? What theme do I want to use? So it's a lot easier to work in restrictions. But see, that's out of the box thinking, because, you know, I don't have my choice. Yes, you have your choice in the restrictions. And that's the strength and the power of creativity. You see, art and dynamics of anything of culture has been done for a long time. I want to leave you with something as far as this dynamic, and honestly, this is an honor, and I hope this has helped you, inspired you, directed you, or shit, that you just enjoyed the fact that I was just amusing you for a little while, you know. Let me do that, see? And go like this, right? You mess it up. Oh, he's messed up. How about this? It's all deflection. And life sometimes is. So, case in point is that believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and orchestration in your life can happen, but not at the expense of others. And that the song that you thought that you would be able to have at that moment, giving love or care or concern to your responsibilities. For that time, if you're too emotional, it doesn't work. I've been doing this a long time. You know, I've written pieces in bars, you know, for ladies that I didn't want to sleep with, and for couples and whatever, but only one, Darryl Taylor, you know, so. And the Darryl Taylor thing, now it's Darryl Taylor K, but so there's a bunch of artwork and stuff like that floating all over the place, you know, from all these years. But it really comes down to, honestly, in conclusion, again, how many times do I have to conclude? Because life is not a conclusion, it's a beginning. And when you wake up and you think about this, that if you pray for something, and you don't get it, don't be a brat. Because there are certain stepping stones. But once you hit that mother lode, as far as servitude, as far as honor to that, sometimes you won't be able to contain it, but you have to do it for other people. So let's say that, for example, as far as that you're talking to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your significant other or otherwise, and saying, oh, I saw this documentary or otherwise, and he said this. And if you thought it was bullshit, but they took it to heart, and that helped them as far as their life, that's what this is all about. So, thank you.